Far beyond the busy capitals of Europe, where the continent slowly gives way to the endless Atlantic Ocean, lies an island unlike any other. A place where emerald fields stretch farther than the eye can see, where ancient stone walls divide the countryside like pages from a forgotten history, and where the sound of crashing waves has echoed across rugged cliffs for thousands of years. This is Ireland. At first glance, it seems peaceful, gentle, almost untouched by time. Rain drifts softly across rolling hills. Small villages wake to the ringing of church bells. Families gather around kitchen tables where stories are shared as naturally as a cup of tea. But beneath this quiet rhythm lies a nation shaped by extraordinary resilience. A land that has endured famine, hardship, and generations of emigration, yet never lost its music, never lost its language, and never lost the warmth that welcomes strangers as though they were lifelong friends. How did a small island on the western edge of Europe leave such an extraordinary mark on the world? Why do millions of people across distant continents still proudly trace their roots back to this land? What is it about Ireland that turns ordinary conversations into unforgettable memories, simple landscapes into timeless poetry, and everyday life into something that feels deeply connected to the human spirit? To understand Ireland, you must look beyond its famous castles and breathtaking coastlines, because the true heart of this island is not found in its landmarks. It lives in its communities, its traditions, its stories, and in the quiet rhythm of a life shaped by the land, the sea, and generations who never stopped calling this place home. This is the story of life in Ireland. Life in Ireland is not measured by the rush of crowded streets or the relentless pace of towering cities. Instead, it follows a quieter rhythm, a rhythm shaped by the changing seasons, the Atlantic wind, and the gentle certainty that some things in life should never be hurried. For many Irish people, the day begins long before sunrise. In the countryside, the first sounds are rarely traffic or construction. Instead, they are the distant call of seabirds drifting inland from the coast, the lowing of cattle waiting to be fed, and the familiar rumble of a farmer's tractor crossing dew-covered fields. Across the island, weather quietly dictates the day's plans. A bright morning may invite families outdoors for long walks or children to play in nearby parks. A sudden shower, however, rarely interrupts daily life. The Irish have long accepted that rain is simply part of living here. In fact, many locals smile when visitors complain about the weather. There is no bad weather, they often say, only the wrong clothing. It is an attitude that reflects something much deeper than practical advice. Growing up surrounded by changing skies has taught generations of Irish people to embrace uncertainty with patience rather than frustration. Perhaps that is why conversations about the weather are never merely small talk. They are shared observations about the land that shapes everyone's life. Whether standing outside a village bakery or waiting for a bus in Dublin, discussing clouds, sunshine, or rain becomes an effortless way to connect with strangers. That sense of connection is one of Ireland's defining characteristics. Although more than 5 million people live on the island, life often feels surprisingly personal. In small towns, neighbors know one another by name. Shopkeepers remember regular customers. Children walk to school alongside friends whose parents and grandparents have known each other for decades. Even newcomers are often greeted with genuine curiosity rather than distance. Hospitality is not considered a special virtue. It is simply the normal way of life. This welcoming spirit is captured in an old Irish phrase, Céad Míle Fáilte. It means 100,000 welcomes. Far more than a tourist slogan, these words express a cultural belief that every guest deserves kindness and respect. Step inside almost any Irish home, and one invitation is almost guaranteed. Will you have a cup of tea? Tea occupies a special place in Irish daily life. It appears after long journeys, during family celebrations, when neighbors stop by unexpectedly, and even during moments of grief. The kettle is almost always ready, not because tea itself is extraordinary, but because sharing it creates time for conversation. Around kitchen tables, stories flow as naturally as the steam rising from the cups. A simple visit intended to last 10 minutes can easily stretch into an hour. No one seems eager to rush away. Conversation itself is valued. Listening is considered just as important as speaking. Humor arrives effortlessly, often gentle, self-deprecating, and filled with warmth. The family remains at the heart of Irish society. Although modern life has changed where many people live and work, strong family ties continue to shape everyday decisions. Grandparents often play an active role in raising children. Weekend gatherings bring several generations together around the same table. Birthdays, weddings, and anniversaries become occasions for entire extended families to reconnect. Even those who move abroad frequently return home whenever possible, maintaining bonds that distance rarely weakens. Beyond family lies an equally important network, the local community. Across rural Ireland, independent shops continue to serve as social meeting places rather than simple businesses. Buying fresh bread from the village baker often includes a conversation about local news. The butcher may ask about your parents. The cashier might already know what you usually buy every Friday afternoon. These daily encounters build trust that has developed over generations. In many villages, community life still revolves around familiar landmarks: the parish church, the community hall, the local sports field, and, perhaps most famously, the neighborhood pub. For visitors, an Irish pub may seem like little more than a place to enjoy traditional music and a pint. For local residents, however, it serves a much deeper purpose. It is where birthdays are celebrated, where neighbors comfort one another after funerals, where local football matches are passionately discussed, and where strangers often become friends before the evening ends. Music frequently appears without planning. One person opens a violin case, another picks up a guitar. Soon, traditional melodies fill the room, not as a performance for an audience, but as something shared by everyone present. There are no barriers between musicians and listeners. The music belongs to the community. It is simply another way of bringing people together. This powerful sense of belonging has ancient roots. For centuries, survival often depended upon neighbors helping one another through difficult seasons. Although modern Ireland has changed dramatically, that tradition continues. When a family experiences hardship, local communities still organize charity events, prepare meals, or offer practical support without being asked. Helping others is not viewed as an extraordinary act. It is simply what neighbors do. Life in Ireland may appear quiet compared with many larger European nations. Yet beneath that peaceful surface lies something remarkably strong. A culture built not on constant speed or endless ambition, but on conversation, family, community, and the simple belief that life's greatest moments are often found in the ordinary routines of every single day. To understand Ireland, it is not enough to admire its green landscapes or ancient castles. The true character of the island lives somewhere less visible. It lives in its language, its music, its stories, and in traditions that continue to shape everyday life, even in the 21st century. For thousands of years, Irish culture has been carried from one generation to the next, not only through books, but through voices. Long before stories were written down, they were spoken beside peat fires, shared around family tables, and passed from grandparents to grandchildren. Storytelling was never simply entertainment. It was a way of preserving history, explaining the mysteries of nature, and reminding every generation where they came from. Even today, that tradition remains remarkably strong. A simple conversation in Ireland often feels different from almost anywhere else. People rarely rush directly to the point. Stories unfold slowly. One memory leads naturally to another. Humor appears unexpectedly. A short visit can become an hour-long conversation without anyone noticing the time passing. Listening is considered just as valuable as speaking. Perhaps that is why the Irish have produced so many of the world's greatest writers. Names such as James Joyce, W.B. Yeats, Oscar Wilde, Samuel Beckett, and Seamus Heaney have become part of world literature. Yet their work remains deeply rooted in the landscapes, language, and everyday experiences of Ireland itself. Literature here is not separate from ordinary life. It grows naturally from it. Another thread connecting Ireland's past and present is its native language. Irish, or Gaeilge, is one of the oldest living languages in Europe. Although English is the primary language used across most of the country today, Irish continues to hold a special place in national identity. Children study it throughout their school years. Road signs throughout the country often appear in both Irish and English. Government documents, public ceremonies, and national broadcasts continue to celebrate the language as an important symbol of cultural heritage. Along Ireland's rugged western coast lie the Gaeltacht regions, communities where Irish is still spoken naturally in homes, schools, and daily life. Here, visitors may hear conversations that sound almost unchanged from centuries ago. For local people, speaking Irish is not merely preserving history, it is continuing it. Music is perhaps the most recognizable expression of Irish identity. Unlike formal concerts, traditional Irish music often belongs to everyone. On almost any evening, particularly in smaller towns, musicians may gather inside a local pub, carrying fiddles, tin whistles, accordions, flutes, bodhrans, or uilleann pipes. No tickets are sold, no stage separates performers from listeners. Someone begins playing, another quietly joins. Soon, the entire room is filled with melodies that have traveled across generations. These informal gatherings, known as síseún, are less about performance than participation. People sing together, clap along with the rhythm, share old songs whose words everyone seems to know. Visitors quickly discover that they are welcome to simply listen or even join in. Music becomes another language through which strangers become friends. The same spirit of community is reflected in Ireland's traditional sports. Unlike many professional leagues around the world, the games organized by the Gaelic Athletic Association, or GAA, remain deeply connected to local identity. Sports such as Gaelic football and hurling are played in towns and villages across the country. Players are not international celebrities. Many are teachers, nurses, students, farmers, or office workers who represent the communities where they grew up. On weekends, entire families gather at local pitches to support their parish teams. Victories are celebrated together. Defeats are accepted together. The result matters, but the sense of belonging matters even more. Every spring, another tradition brings communities together, St. Patrick's Day. Outside Ireland, the celebration has become famous for grand parades, rivers dyed green, and millions of people wearing shamrocks. Inside Ireland, however, the holiday feels far more personal. Families spend time together. Children participate in community events. Local musicians perform in village squares. It is less a spectacle than a quiet expression of national pride. A celebration not simply of history, but of identity. Perhaps one of the most remarkable qualities of Irish culture is its ability to embrace modern life without abandoning tradition. Young people work in technology companies, study at world-class universities, travel across Europe and beyond. Yet many still return home on weekends to visit family, attend local matches, or join music sessions with lifelong friends. Progress has not erased identity. Instead, the two exist side by side. In Ireland, an ancient Celtic melody may be heard just a few streets away from the European headquarters of some of the world's largest technology companies. Old stone churches stand beside modern glass buildings. Centuries-old traditions continue in neighborhoods connected by high-speed internet. It is a balance that few nations have managed to achieve so naturally. Because in Ireland, culture is not something preserved inside museums. It is spoken every day, played every evening, celebrated every weekend, and quietly passed from one generation to the next, ensuring that even as the country moves confidently into the future, it never loses sight of the stories that first gave it a soul. For centuries, the Irish people have looked to the land and the sea not simply as places to live, but as partners in survival. Long before Ireland became known as one of Europe's fastest-growing economies, life here revolved around farming, fishing, and the steady rhythm of the seasons. Even today, that connection remains impossible to ignore. Drive through almost any part of rural Ireland, and the landscape tells the story immediately. Rolling green fields stretch across the countryside, divided by centuries-old stone walls and hedgerows. Black and white dairy cows graze peacefully beneath ever-changing skies. Sheep wander across rugged hillsides in the west, while tractors move slowly along narrow country roads that have changed little over generations. Agriculture has always been one of the foundations of Irish life. The island's mild climate and abundant rainfall create ideal conditions for lush grass, making Ireland one of Europe's leading producers of dairy products. Its butter, milk, and cheeses are exported around the world, earning an international reputation for quality. For many farming families, however, agriculture is more than a business. It is a way of life passed from parents to children. Many farms remain family-owned, with traditions and knowledge handed down through generations. Along Ireland's long Atlantic coastline, another ancient profession continues to shape local communities: fishing. From the harbors of County Donegal to the ports of County Cork, fishing boats leave before sunrise, returning later in the day with fresh catches from the unpredictable Atlantic. The sea provides salmon, oysters, mussels, mackerel, and crab that support both local markets and international exports. Although modern technology has improved safety and efficiency, fishing remains a profession that demands patience, experience, and deep respect for nature. The ocean still decides when people can work. Yet Ireland today is no longer defined solely by its traditional industries. Over the past few decades, the country has undergone one of Europe's most remarkable economic transformations. During the late 20th century, Ireland became known as the Celtic Tiger, a period of rapid economic growth fueled by education, international investment, and technological innovation. Cities such as Dublin, Cork, and Galway have evolved into dynamic centers of business, attracting some of the world's largest technology and pharmaceutical companies. Global firms established European headquarters here, bringing thousands of highly skilled jobs and transforming Ireland into one of the continent's leading knowledge-based economies. This rapid modernization created an unusual balance. Within a single afternoon, it is possible to leave a remote village where sheep still outnumber people and arrive in a modern business district filled with software engineers, researchers, and international professionals. Few countries combine rural tradition and global innovation so naturally. Food reflects that same balance between simplicity and quality. Irish cuisine has never been famous for complexity. Instead, it celebrates honest ingredients grown close to home. At the heart of many traditional meals is the humble potato. Introduced during the 16th century, it became the foundation of the Irish diet and remains an essential part of family cooking today. Its importance also carries painful historical memories of the Great Famine, a tragedy that forever changed the nation. One of Ireland's most beloved dishes is Irish stew. Slow-cooked lamb, potatoes, carrots, and onions come together to create a meal that is simple, filling, and deeply comforting. It is less about luxury than about sharing warmth around the family table. Another traditional favorite is colcannon, creamy mashed potatoes mixed with cabbage or kale and plenty of butter. Generations have grown up with recipes that change slightly from one family to another. Freshly baked Irish soda bread remains another symbol of home. Made without yeast and prepared with buttermilk, it has been a staple of Irish kitchens for centuries. Its warm aroma often welcomes visitors before they even reach the dining table. Along the coast, seafood naturally plays an important role. Fresh oysters from Galway Bay, steamed mussels, smoked salmon, and Atlantic mackerel appear on menus throughout the country. Many restaurants proudly emphasize locally sourced ingredients, reflecting Ireland's growing appreciation for sustainable farming and fishing. Breakfast in Ireland is famously generous. The traditional full Irish breakfast includes bacon, sausages, eggs, black pudding, white pudding, grilled tomatoes, mushrooms, baked beans, and toast. Originally designed to provide energy for long days of physical work, it has become a weekend tradition enjoyed by both locals and visitors. No discussion of Irish food would be complete without mentioning tea. More than simply a drink, tea represents hospitality itself. Whether celebrating good news, comforting someone through difficult times, or welcoming unexpected guests, the offer of a cup of tea is almost automatic. The conversation that follows is often considered just as important as the drink itself. In recent years, Ireland's food culture has continued to evolve. Young chefs combine traditional recipes with modern techniques. Farmers' markets showcase artisan cheeses, organic vegetables, homemade jams, and freshly baked bread. Local producers focus increasingly on sustainability, quality, and regional identity. Yet despite these innovations, the heart of Irish cuisine has changed very little. It remains centered on family, on local ingredients, and on meals meant to be shared rather than hurried. Perhaps that perfectly reflects modern Ireland itself, a nation that has embraced innovation without forgetting its roots. A country where centuries-old farms stand alongside global technology companies, where tradition continues to shape progress, and where every meal, like every story, begins with the land that has sustained its people for generations. To truly understand Ireland, you must step beyond its towns and cities and into the landscapes that have shaped its people for thousands of years. Here, nature is not simply something to admire during a holiday. It is woven into everyday life. It influences where people build their homes, how they travel, what they grow, and even how they see the world. Unlike many countries where mountains divide communities or vast plains dominate the horizon, Ireland presents a softer landscape. Gentle rolling hills rise and fall across the countryside like endless green waves. Thousands of small lakes, known locally as loughs, reflect skies that seem to change from one moment to the next. Between them lie ancient peat bogs, dark wetlands that have preserved traces of Irish history for thousands of years. For generations, peat was cut by hand, dried beneath the summer sun, and used to heat family homes during the long, damp winters. Although modern energy sources have gradually replaced this tradition, the unmistakable scent of a peat fire still reminds many Irish people of childhood, family gatherings, and evenings spent around the hearth. Yet the most dramatic face of Ireland is found where the land meets the Atlantic Ocean. Stretching for more than 2,500 kilometers, the Wild Atlantic Way follows one of the longest coastal touring routes in the world. Every section offers a different perspective on Ireland's untamed beauty. Towering sea cliffs rise hundreds of meters above crashing waves. Hidden beaches appear between rocky headlands. Tiny fishing villages cling to sheltered harbors where colorful boats return each afternoon. Among these natural wonders, few places are as breathtaking as the cliffs of Moher. Standing more than 200 meters above the Atlantic, these towering cliffs have watched storms roll across the ocean for millions of years. On windy days, visitors can feel the immense power of nature as waves crash against the rocks far below, while thousands of seabirds glide effortlessly along invisible air currents. It is a place where silence feels as powerful as sound. Farther north, another extraordinary landscape tells an entirely different story. The Giant's Causeway, with its thousands of perfectly shaped basalt columns, appears almost too symmetrical to be natural. Scientists explain its formation through volcanic activity millions of years ago. Irish legend offers another answer. It says the giant Finn McCool built the stone pathway to challenge his rival across the sea in Scotland. In Ireland, science and folklore rarely compete. Instead, they often exist side by side, enriching the meaning of every landscape. Perhaps nowhere is Ireland's wild beauty more deeply felt than in Connemara. Here, mountains rise directly from boglands and lakes. The weather changes by the hour. Cloud shadows sweep across open valleys before disappearing into the distance. The silence is almost complete, interrupted only by the wind or the distant call of sheep grazing on the hillsides. Walking through Connemara is less like visiting a tourist attraction than stepping into another century. The relationship between people and nature is reflected in the countless stone walls that crisscross the countryside. Built entirely by hand over hundreds of years, these walls were created as farmers patiently cleared rocks from their fields. Today, they remain one of Ireland's most recognizable features. They are not merely property boundaries, they are monuments to perseverance, reminding every generation how much effort was required to transform rocky land into fertile farms. For many Irish families, spending time outdoors is simply part of life. Weekend walks through forests, coastal trails, and national parks are common. Cyclists explore quiet country roads lined with hedgerows. Families gather for picnics beside lakes during the brief but beautiful summer months. Hiking has become one of Ireland's most popular outdoor activities, offering both exercise and an opportunity to reconnect with nature. Even driving through Ireland becomes an experience in itself. Away from the motorways, narrow country lanes known as boreens wind through fields, forests, and tiny villages. Every bend reveals another postcard view: a ruined medieval castle standing alone in a meadow, a flock of sheep crossing the road without hurry, a brightly painted pub at the center of a peaceful village. Travel here is rarely about reaching the destination as quickly as possible. The journey itself becomes part of the experience. Despite its rural atmosphere, Ireland is far from isolated. A modern network of highways connects Dublin with the country's major cities. Railways offer comfortable journeys through some of Europe's most beautiful countryside. Buses reach even remote villages, ensuring that communities remain connected to the rest of the island. This balance between modern infrastructure and timeless landscapes is one of Ireland's greatest strengths. People can enjoy the peace of country life without giving up the opportunities of the modern world. High-speed internet reaches villages surrounded by sheep pastures. Technology companies operate only a short drive from ancient castles. Traditional cottages stand alongside contemporary homes built with sustainability in mind. Ireland has managed to modernize without losing the quiet beauty that makes it unique. Perhaps that is why so many visitors leave with the same impression. Ireland is not a country that overwhelms you with grand spectacles every moment. Instead, it reveals itself slowly, in the rhythm of the rain, in the sound of waves meeting ancient cliffs, in the scent of peat carried by the wind, and in landscapes that remind people something increasingly rare in today's world. That peace is sometimes found not in what surrounds us, but in how closely we remain connected to the land beneath our feet. Ireland has always been a country shaped by movement. For centuries, countless Irish men and women left their homeland in search of opportunity. Some crossed the Irish Sea to Britain. Others sailed across the Atlantic to North America, Australia, and New Zealand. Today, however, the story is changing. While many young people still travel abroad to study or gain international experience, an increasing number choose to return home, bringing with them new ideas, new skills, and a renewed appreciation for the country they left behind. Education has played a central role in this transformation. Ireland places great importance on learning, with a strong public education system and universities that consistently attract students from around the world. Institutions in Dublin, Cork, Galway, and Limerick have become centers of research, innovation, and entrepreneurship. For many young Irish people, higher education opens doors to careers that previous generations could scarcely imagine. Software engineering, artificial intelligence, biotechnology, renewable energy, finance, creative industries. These emerging sectors have reshaped the country's economy and created opportunities that once existed only abroad. Yet with opportunity comes difficult choices. Many students leave small towns and rural villages to begin their careers in Ireland's growing cities. Dublin, in particular, has become a magnet for ambitious young professionals. Modern office buildings rise beside historic streets. International companies recruit graduates from every corner of the country. The pace of life becomes faster. The possibilities seem endless. But something important is often left behind: home. Unlike many societies where moving away marks a permanent break, Irish family ties remain remarkably strong. Young professionals frequently return home on weekends. Family birthdays, weddings, and community events continue to fill the calendar. Even those living hundreds of kilometers away often travel back to represent their hometown Gaelic Athletic Association clubs. It is not unusual for someone to spend hours driving across the country simply to play a local match on Saturday before returning to work on Monday. This enduring loyalty reflects something deeper than sport. It reflects identity. No matter where life leads, many Irish people continue to define themselves by the village, parish, or county where they were raised. At the same time, modern Ireland faces challenges shared by many developed nations. One of the most significant is housing. Rapid economic growth and a growing population have pushed property prices and rental costs to record levels, particularly in Dublin and other major cities. For many young adults, buying a first home has become increasingly difficult. Some postpone starting families. Others choose to remain with their parents longer than previous generations. Finding a balance between economic success and affordable living has become one of Ireland's greatest national priorities. Another challenge lies beyond the cities. Many rural communities have experienced a gradual decline in population as younger generations move toward urban centers. Small villages that once supported local schools, post offices, and family businesses now struggle to maintain essential services. When a village loses its last grocery store, its post office, or its neighborhood pub, it loses more than a business. It loses part of its identity. Recognizing this, both local communities and national initiatives have begun investing in rural development. Improved broadband internet has allowed many professionals to work remotely from small towns once considered isolated. Former farmhouses are being restored. Young families are choosing countryside life without giving up modern careers. The hope is not simply to preserve rural Ireland as a museum of the past, but to ensure that it remains a living, evolving place for future generations. Tourism presents another delicate balance. Each year, millions of visitors arrive to experience Ireland's dramatic landscapes, ancient castles, lively pubs, and welcoming communities. Tourism supports thousands of jobs and brings important income to local businesses. Yet it also raises difficult questions. How can Ireland protect fragile natural environments while welcoming increasing numbers of visitors? How can historic villages maintain their authentic character without becoming destinations built solely for tourists? Finding answers requires thoughtful planning and cooperation between communities, businesses, and government. Cultural preservation remains equally important. Global entertainment, social media, and international business have connected Ireland to the wider world more than ever before. Yet many people continue working to preserve the Irish language, traditional music, local festivals, and centuries-old customs. Schools teach Irish. Communities organize cultural events. Families encourage younger generations to appreciate traditions that might otherwise fade with time. Rather than resisting change, Ireland has chosen another path. It embraces innovation while protecting the values that define its identity. Perhaps that is the country's greatest achievement. Not choosing between the past and the future, but allowing both to grow together. Ireland understands that progress is not measured only by economic statistics or technological advances. It is measured by whether communities remain strong, whether young people still feel connected to home, and whether future generations inherit not only greater opportunities, but also the traditions, friendships, and sense of belonging that have always made this small island so remarkable. As the sun begins to set over Ireland, the rhythm of the country gently changes. The fields grow quieter. Fishing boats return to their harbors. The last trains arrive at their stations. Across towns and villages, lights begin to appear in cottage windows, and another ordinary evening quietly unfolds. It is during these quiet moments that the true character of Ireland becomes most visible. Unlike many places where evenings are dominated by crowded shopping centers or busy nightlife, Irish evenings often return people to something much simpler: home. Families gather around the dinner table to share stories from the day. Children finish their homework while grandparents talk about old memories. Neighbors stop by for an unexpected visit, knowing they will always be welcomed with a warm smile and, almost certainly, a freshly brewed cup of tea. In villages across the countryside, the local pub slowly comes alive. Not because people are escaping their lives, but because they are celebrating them. Friends meet after work. Musicians unpack fiddles and accordions. Conversations begin quietly before laughter gradually fills the room. No one seems to be in a hurry. Time moves differently here. A single song can bring 3 generations together. An old story can still capture everyone's attention, even if they have heard it dozens of times before. This ability to slow down may be one of Ireland's greatest treasures. In a world increasingly driven by speed, productivity, and constant connection, Ireland quietly reminds people that happiness often grows from simpler things. A shared meal, a familiar face, a walk through the countryside, or the comfort of knowing your neighbors genuinely care about you. That sense of belonging helps explain why so many Irish people, even after living abroad for years, eventually return home. For many, Ireland is more than the place where they were born. It is where their family history lives, where childhood memories remain attached to every narrow road, every stone wall, every village church, and every stretch of coastline. Leaving may offer opportunity, but home continues to provide identity. Safety also plays an important role in daily life. Ireland consistently ranks among the safer countries in Europe, and this contributes to a strong sense of peace within many communities. Children often walk or cycle to school. Neighbors keep an eye on one another's homes. Parents know that if something goes wrong, someone nearby will always be willing to help. Trust remains one of the country's quiet strengths. Of course, Ireland is not without challenges. The cost of housing continues to rise. Many young families struggle to purchase their first home. rural communities work hard to preserve local services as populations shift toward larger cities. Climate change brings new concerns for agriculture, fisheries, and the fragile coastal environment. Like every modern nation, Ireland must continue balancing economic growth with environmental protection and cultural preservation. Yet despite these difficulties, the optimism of the Irish people remains remarkably resilient. Perhaps it comes from history. This is a nation that has endured famine, conflict, economic hardship, and generations of emigration. Again and again, Ireland has rebuilt itself, not by forgetting its past, but by learning from it. Today, that resilience can be seen everywhere. In young entrepreneurs building global businesses, in farmers adapting to sustainable agriculture, in musicians keeping centuries-old traditions alive, in communities welcoming newcomers while preserving their own identity. Ireland understands that progress does not require abandoning heritage. Instead, the two can strengthen each other. Modern technology coexists with ancient languages. Glass office towers stand only minutes away from medieval cathedrals. International innovation grows alongside family farms that have existed for generations. Few countries have managed to create such a natural balance between yesterday and tomorrow. Perhaps that is why Ireland leaves such a lasting impression on those who visit. People may first arrive for the dramatic cliffs, the castles, or the famous green landscapes. But what they remember most is usually something much less obvious. A conversation with a stranger who treated them like an old friend. The sound of traditional music drifting through an open pub door. The warmth of a family who insisted they stay for one more cup of tea. Or the quiet feeling that, somehow, they belonged. Because Ireland's greatest treasure has never been its scenery alone. It has always been its people, their kindness, their resilience, their humor, and their remarkable ability to find joy in ordinary moments. In many ways, Ireland offers a gentle reminder to the modern world. Success is important, innovation matters, economic growth creates opportunity. But none of these things can replace the value of strong families, supportive communities, living traditions, and a deep connection to the place we call home. Perhaps that is the true rhythm of life in Ireland. Not measured by wealth, not measured by speed, but measured by relationships, by shared memories, by evenings filled with conversation instead of distraction, by generations who continue to care for one another, and by a landscape that quietly reminds every person fortunate enough to live here that the richest life is often the one lived closest to family, community, and nature. Thank you for joining us on this journey through Ireland. If this peaceful island inspired you, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and tell us in the comments, which part of life in Ireland surprised you the most? We'd love to hear your thoughts, and we'll see you in the next journey to another remarkable country.